Going to follow this lab here, and in this lab, if you just scroll down a bit, you will be able to see this talks about login to the virtual machine. Basically, this is a Microsoft provided lab. Okay, so but we don't have any virtual machine which is Microsoft is providing, so that's we can ignore that. Okay, we are going to come here. Okay, and we are going to create something called lab prerequisite. To start a lab, we need to have a project. Okay, so so in this lab they are already providing some a project which we can pull from the demo generator app. So there is a tool called Azure DevOps demo generator app. Okay, and in this demo generator app we have to select a project called parts unlimited template. So already a template, a project which is already created for us by Microsoft, we can go ahead and pull that project into our DevOps. So just you right click and open in new tab. It will open a demo generator app. Log in with the same email ID which you have used for your DevOps. Okay, click on sign in and it will ask me, okay, this user ID, and I'll say accept. Now I have logged into this. And once you log in, you will be able to see in this drop down your organization name. So make sure you have created your organization into DevOps portal, and you are going to select the same organization into this drop down. If you are not getting this organization, make sure you go and create a new organization into your DevOps by clicking a new organization button here. Okay, and now we need to choose a template. So template is going to be a parts unlimited. That's what the lab says. You have to select a template called parts unlimited template and select the template here. Enter the project name. So I can copy the same project name which is available here, parts unlimited. I am going to paste here into the project name section, and I'm going to hit a create project button. Okay, now once you create project, the project will be created into your DevOps. So now it is pulling the project. Okay, and basically this is a Scrum based project. Okay, which is already the source code, and the pipelines is already available into this, and we are going to use a predefined project. So I don't have to develop any project from the scratch. I'm going to use a predefined project by the Microsoft, which is created as a parts unlimited project. On my screen, the project has been created and project has been successfully completed. So make sure these steps are created. And what happened, the project, this has been created, 2 teams is created, board is created, work item is created, build definition is there, release definition is there. So I have pulled a predefined project which is a Scrum based project from the demo generator app into our DevOps. If I'll go and refresh my dev.azure.com, I should be getting a project called Parts Unlimited. Okay, so I have we have already defined a project. Click on this project and your project will open on the like this. So this is your DevOps project. This is your first DevOps project, you can see. And if you see, there is something called overview. So here you can have summary, boards, you have a wikis. So those are available here. Then you have something called boards. You can look at the work item, you can look at the boards, you can look at the backlog. So why we have pulled, because you can see here already there are, we don't have to create all those things. Okay, so we have to just go and look into those, what are these activities are. Okay, and next you have repos is your files, code files. Then you can look at the commits. We'll come to that each and every tabs later on. Okay, so for this lab we are going to understand more onto the board section. Okay, so we have pulled this project, and that's what we have did as part of this first task. Okay, now we are going to manage this project. So we have a project, we have received a project. How we can go ahead and manage this project into our application, okay, or into our DevOps? How I can manage? So we are going to manage a team, we are going to manage an area, and we are going to manage a iteration path. Okay, so we are going to do that. Okay, then we are going to manage a work item. Work item means the bugs, task which is going to assigned for you as part of agile methodology. Those we are going to do it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So once your project is ready, come back to the dev.azure.com, refresh your here. So go to dev.azure.com, click on the project, go to the project setting. Okay, in the project setting, so I'm repeating again, project, come down here, there is something called project setting, left down corner, click on the project setting, then go to the teams. We are going to create a new team. Okay, click on new team here, and click on the new team button on the right hand side, and enter the team name, pull web team. As per the lab, we are going to just following this lab. Okay, we are going to create a team called a pull web team, and just click on create button. Now I have created a pull web team here. So how I can create? So you can see here pull db team is there, pull web team I have created. Okay, so so this is pull means paths unlimited. Okay, so paths unlimited database team. So for the project, I have a database team, I have a web team. Okay, so who is going to work on my website or website development or something like that. Okay, click on this team, and once you go inside the team, there is something called iteration and area path here on the top. Okay, select this iteration and area path. Once you click on iteration and area path, you can go to something called iteration. Okay, so this is what iteration is. Click on iteration. Okay, so pull web team, iteration and area path, go to iteration, and now we have to add an iteration. So there is a button called select iteration. Click on that, and now we are going to add a sprint. Okay, so as we are going to develop a agile and a scrum kind of project, now we have to add a sprint to assign a work to the team. Okay, so a sprint 1, save. A sprint 2, you can click on save. A sprint 3, you can add a multiple sprint as you needs. Okay, so a sprint as always has some date here. So 30th May to 20th June is first sprint, 21st June to 12 July there is one sprint. So these are the sprint which is available. Okay, so we are currently in the second sprint. As you can see here, 20th June is a second sprint. Okay, so whatever the work I'm going to assign, it is belonging to this sprint, and we need to finish between this sprint and complete that task. Okay, so that's how you can add a sprint here. And then you go to the area section. Once you go to the area section, there is a 3 dots. Once you hover a mouse on the paths unlimited web team, there is a 3 dots available here. Click on 3 dots and click on include sub area. So I am going to give the access of this team. I'm going to give the access to this team to access a sub area, means area and sub area. So inside the area, we have a something called sub area, and this team can go ahead and access the sub area as well as part of iteration. Okay, so that's what I have did as part of the first step into the project. Okay, so you can look at this task 1, managing the team and creating area and iteration. We went and created a team here, and after the team I went and added the sprints. Okay, we can go ahead and select a sprint 1, a sprint 2, a sprint 3, all those sprint I can go, and you can hover a mouse on these 3 dots in the area section and just click on include sub area. Okay, so that's what I have did. And you can see here, you can, if you look at the definition here, it's saying there we can include and exclude sub area so that visibility will be available for your team to look at the any other area or items inside that. Okay, that's what the benefit you can see. Now once you are done with that configuration, we can go ahead and manage work item. What is the work item basically? Okay, so before moving to this work item, we are going to create something called epic, task, and other things. Okay, so to understand this, I have just another slide. I'll show you that slide, and that talks about the area and iteration. Okay, so now we are going to basically define a work item. What is the work item? If you talk about the work items, okay, so whenever I'm going to create a project, we need to define a project that I'm going to create a project. That project is what kind of project in the DevOps? It is the basic project, it is the agile project, or a scrum project, or CMMI project. Whenever you go on the create a new project, you will see that option available. Let me go and show you. If I say click new project in the DevOps, you are going to select what kind of work item you are going to select. What is this work item means? Work item says that you can select a basic project, agile, scrum, and CMMI. This is used for work item processing. What is the work item means? Work item means you are going to create some task. Okay, so when the client says that I want to develop a web application, okay, so web application development will have a different modules inside that. Okay, so that is a one work which you got, that is called a higher level of work. Then you divide that into the different modules. So there will be login module, there is a shopping module, there is a different modules you are going to define. In the module, again, you are going to look at the what are the tasks you are going to assign into that. Is this a development task? It is the testing task, it is a business analyst related task. So all those you are going to define into the work item. So that's what we are trying to understand here. Okay, so in Azure Boards, when you are going to create a project, you are going to define a process for your project. Okay, so if you are creating something called a basic project, okay, so when you choose a basic project, you are going to define, because this is a lightweight project and this is the simplest way to manage your work. So first of all, you are going to create something called a portfolio backlog. So that is called a epic. Okay, epic, if you are saying, that means you are creating something called a backlog for the work. In that, you are going to create something called product backlog, that is called issues, and then you assign a task from that issues. And if you want to manage those, basically first time when you are starting the work, it starts from to do, then you are going to do doing, then it is done. Then you are moving back, also you can go and reactivate and move back. So this is just a basic project management. So if a small project if you have, or a small organization you have, you don't want to put into the more complexity of the work item, this is the simplest way to manage your project into the agile methods. Other thing, you have something called agile. So if you are saying my project is agile, or I'm managing the agile project, means you have to add a few more level of the tracking. Okay, what is that? When you are going to create a work, like I told, I want to create a website, I have a requirement for developing a website, then I can go ahead and develop something called product backlog, and I can say I want to develop a epic, that is called epic, a website development. Then I'll say in the website development what all the features you are looking for. So features you can divide into the modules. Okay, you can say this is my modules. Okay, so login module, shopping module, and other modules which you can define as a feature. Okay, and then in the feature, again, that modules will be divided into the different user story. User story means you have to write something, a detailed description for the module. My module has to, being a user, I should be able to enter username, I should be enter a password, I should be able to submit, and when I submit, it should be redirected to the home page. So that user story you are going to write. And now to develop that particular login module, that login username password, I need to create a task. Okay, so I'll create a multiple task. So what are the tasks? One, I'll say one will be analysis task, means developer is going to analyze that how much time it is going to take and what are the modules he has to touch base and what are the basic requirement he has to happen. So one is the task for the requirement gathering. Another task I can create for the development. Another task I can create for the testing team to test the application. Another task I can create for the business analyst to review the changes. Okay, so those multiple tasks which I can go ahead and add into the user story. Okay, and you can see also you can go ahead and raise a bug, and bug will also have a task. Okay, so bug you are raising, who all can go ahead and work on that bug as well. So there is something called portfolio backlog. Portfolio backlog will have epic and feature. Backlog will have a user story and task. Another thing, you have issue tracking here. If you look at the process management, it starts from the new, it goes to the active, then goes to resolve, and then it gets close. Okay, and if you look at this agile and the scrum, so agile and scrum, if you see the level of that, it's same. Okay, only the naming convention gets changed. Here we talk it epic and feature. Agile we talk it say epic and feature. As user story, in the agile we call it user story in the agile, but if you are following a scrum we call it a product backlog item. Okay, so this is the naming convention get changed in the scrum. Again, you have the same framework, same style of doing. Here we call it issues, we call it impediment. Okay, and the tracking will be remain same here. So only the two changes here, in the scrum we have to follow the product backlog instead of a story, and the issues get changed to impediment. Okay, and the fourth one, which is if you are managing, you are saying you're managing a project as CMMI project. CMMI project, actually you can say this is the higher level of a tracking. Okay, basically you have a more granular level of project tracking. You have to maintain all those logging, risk management, everything you have to do. Okay, so again you have epic, features remain same. Here backlog calls a requirement, then you have a task. In this CMMI level, if you are following CMMI level, if your organization or your project is following CMMI, means you have to follow the change request process, you have to raise the issues, you have to analyze the risk, you need to review. So there are more process oriented work which you are going to follow into the CMMI level. Okay, and also if you see the difference, if you want to remove the any work item, any work which I have to drop from my list, in the agile and scrum we just go and remove that from our work item, but in the CMMI we can't go and delete any work item. Okay, we just flag it as a rejected. Okay, because that is required for the tracking purpose, we can't go and remove that completely from the system. So these are the few things which is there. Okay, we can move always between the projects. So if I'm currently following the agile, I can move to the scrum, I can move to the CMMI, or if I'm following the CMMI, I can move to the any other project standard which can suit to my work. So workflow, so these are the workflow which you have to see. And then product planning, we have issues, user story, here you call it as a product backlog, then you have requirement. Portfolio we call it epic, and other are epic and features are there. So similar thing which we are going to develop. So current project which I have we got a paths unlimited, that is going to follow. Okay, now let's go ahead into the project and try to create now work item. If you see in the lab says the same thing, we are going to manage a work item. How we can go ahead and manage a work item? Okay, so we'll go to the overview section here into the project. We'll go to the dashboard. Okay, if you click on double click on the dashboard, it gets changed. Okay, so if you're getting a earlier window, double click on this, you will get a here. Now you see here something called Paths Unlimited Team Overview is available. So you have to go to the Paths Unlimited, you go to the overview, click on this overview button here or link. Okay, so we are going to create for Paths Unlimited. Click on Dashboard, go to Paths Unlimited, click on Overview, and your right hand side you will see to create your work item. Okay, right hand side corner you will see something called create a work item. So now we are going to create a work item. So what is the work item we are going to create? I can go here and copy this work item called project training. So I'm just copying this work item. I'm going to place the work item name here, and this is my epic. So epic, as you know, this is the top level of work. So this is the project training. You can create like for your website. If you are going to develop a website, you can say the website development. So that is the epic for me. Okay, I'll click on create button. So my epic will get created. It will open a window here like this. Now you can assign this. Okay, you can click on the user and you can assign the user who is going to look into this epic. This will be your project manager or anyone else as part of your team. Okay, so you can assign this epic to that particular person. You can assign this area. So this is what area is. Means this area, this work comes under the pull web team. Okay, and I am going to assign a iteration, and which is the sprint 2. Means this work need to be completed in the sprint 2. I can write some description if I want. Okay, and just click on save and close button. Now I have created a epic. So now that epic is available. Where I can see the epic? I can go to the board section. I can look at the work item, and my epic is available into this work item. This is what it is called as work item. And this is my epic. You can see the symbols. This is my epic. This is my bug. This is my task. So all those are available into the work item. Now click on this project training. And what I can add next in the epic, after epic, what I have to add? I can add something called a features. So now inside the epic, I'm going to add a feature. To adding a feature, if you open a epic, right hand side there is an add link button is available. Click on add link button and click on new item. Now we are going to add a child of epic, and that is my feature, and I'm going to give a title of the feature. What is the title of the feature? If you look at the lab, that is saying create a feature called training dashboard. So this is a feature I'm going to create. I'll copy and paste it here and say okay. I'm created a feature inside the epic. Again, a new window will open. You can assign the user here. You can look at the area, path and iteration, and finally you can click on save and close. Again, you can see a parent is available here. This is my child of this parent. Okay, and I can click on save. The relationship will get established here. Okay, so epic has got a child called a project training, and that is my feature. Okay, now you can look at the boards. Okay, so everyone is done till here. Are you able to understand what I'm doing here? Okay, so now once you are assigning you have assigned a epic and the feature. Now we can go and move to the board section, and you can see here pull web boards is available. Okay, so now I have to go to this particular team board, and I have to assign a work to this team. Okay, so I'll go to the pull web boards, and once I open the boards, you will be able to see the right hand side there is something called backlog item, and features are available. If you click on the features, you will be able to see the features for this team. So which I have assigned a one feature, I am able to see the feature. If I can switch between the backlog item and the features here. Okay, So I'll go to the features, and now I need to start adding. What I need to add? I need to add something called product backlog. Okay, so I'm going to add a product backlog, and inside the product backlog we'll add a task. Okay, now click on these three dots and click on add backlog item. Once you click on add backlog item, this text box will appear here. You can copy the backlog item which is mentioned here into the lab. So there is a 3 backlog item which is asking me to add. As a customer, I should view the tutorial. Okay, I'll copy and add backlog item. I'll paste it here. Sorry. Sorry. Add product backlog and control V. Next, as a customer, I should be able to so these are all the backlog item which I'm going to add it here. So just copy, add backlog, control V, and this is the 3 item we have added into this backlog. Okay, so these are the 3 backlog item which I have for the project training. Okay, so these are the features and backlog. Now you can see, click here and go to the backlog item. You will be able to see the 3 backlogs are available. Now I can move between this. Now I select this, I'll move. Okay, it's approved. Okay, now once approved, you can go ahead and click on assign button. You can assign this work to some user. I can move this to the something called committed. I can move this item to the done. So completely you will be able to maintain and manage the boards here, and you can see the items, how that item is moving from the one stage to another stage. Okay, that you will be able to do it here. Okay, so that you can do it here. If you click on this view backlog item button on top, okay, you can see all the list of the item which is available into your list. Okay, as you can see, one is done, one is committed, one is approved. Click on this, you will be able to find the 2 item which is available here, which is approved and committed. Okay, done is already completed, so that will not be listed here. Okay, so that has moved to the stage. Okay, now I can go ahead and add a task for the work which I have. Okay, I can click on this plus button to add a task. Click on this plus button and I can go ahead and write a task here. What task I have to do? Okay, let me copy the task from here itself. So add page for most recent tutorial. So this is a task. Okay, I'm going to assign. I can write here the task details. Okay, this is unassigned, and I can say this is my something priority 2 task. The remaining work is 5 hours for this. Okay, and this is my development activity I have. Okay, so this is the development activity which need to be completed in 5 hours. Work is remaining for me. I'll click on save. So you are going to track the hours on the task level. So you need to create a task and you have to assign hours on the task, and you can assign the work to the particular developer as well. Okay. Now what I can do, I can go ahead and add another task as well here. What is the task I can add? To optimize a data query for my my tutorial. Okay, so this is the optimizing a data. So this is another task, and the work is available 3 hours, and this is a design work I have. Okay, so you can see here the list of activity which is available: development, design, documentation, requirement gathering, testing. So all those tasks you can go ahead and create and assign to that particular work. So for one backlog item, I have added a two task. One is for the most recent tutorial and other is for the I have copied the same thing. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so I have a two task here in this backlog item. So that's what we have did till now. So we have created a epic. Inside that we have created a feature, we have created a backlog item, we have created a task. Okay, so all those things which we have done. Also we have assigned the task, that how many hours is required for those tasks. Now I have assigned a hours for the task. Now I need to look at something called managing a sprint and the capacity. So what is the how many person are available in the team, who all are available in the team, how many hours they work daily, how many days they work for a week. So all those things I need to go and the plan accordingly. So this is your project manager work, which they have to go and create this kind of activity. Okay, and they have to assign a task to you, and then they have to plan the capacity. If you are going on leave, you have to inform them so that they can go ahead and update in this kind of capacity planning. Okay, so the sprint and capacity planning which we have to do now. Okay, so there is something called a sprint. So if you click on this as sprint, we have seen the work item. What is the work item? Work item is the list of activity like epic, task. So all those are a part of your work item. In the board section, we are going to manage those work item. Okay, we are going to manage those work item. We are going to play around that work item. We can move from the approved to the committed, committed to the done. We can look at the backlog item and the features into the boards. Okay, so that you will be able to do the from the backlog item. Okay, so you can go ahead and look that. So you have work item, you have boards, you can look at the backlog item and those features here. Now we are going to the sprint. So now we are going for the planning of my sprint. Okay, now if you go to this sprint planning, you can click on this view option. Right hand side there is a three slider bar kind of thing. Okay, click on this view option and click on the work item. Okay, so if you click on the work item, right hand side there is a panel will start appearing here. Okay, so currently I have 5 hours of work here and 3 hours of work here. So I have a two tasks, total 8 hours of work which is available for my team, and 5 hours is a development work, 3 hours of design work, and it's 8 hours is currently not assigned to anyone else as of now. Okay, now I need to go ahead and assign the work. Okay, what I'll click go, I'll go here and assign the work to the particular user. Now you can see 5 hours is assigned, 3 hours is still not assigned. Okay, so these are the things which you are going to do and look at here. Now there is something called a capacity tab here. If you click on capacity tab, now I'm going to assign this guy is a development guy. Okay, so he is going to do a development. He does a development and his capacity is 1 day. Okay, so that's what he does. And if you currently he is saying that I have 0 days off. Okay, but he is going on leave and he is saying that I want to go from for the leave for the 5 days. Okay, so I am going on leave for 5 days. I'll say okay, and this guy is going for the leave for 5 days, and I'll say save. Okay, so now this is the capacity which I'm going to do. Now I'll go to task, and now you can see I have 8 total 11th hour available. Okay, and we have 8 hours of work. 5 hours of development work is already assigned, and this person who is having the 11 hours work, okay, already 5 hours is assigned for him. Okay, so now he is having the work available. I can assign some other work to him. Okay, but if I say this development task is not 5 hours, this development task is for 11 hours. Now you see the slider goes to red. Why? Because I was having only capacity of 11 hours, and now you are assigning a 14 hours of work to the particular team. So I have only 11-hour capacity, and you are assigning a 14 hours of work to this team, which is going out of my planned activity. Okay. Now what I'll do, I can go to the backlog item and I can say I want to move this task. So which task is assigned for 3 hours, I'll say I'll move this task to the different iteration. So move task to the sprint 3. Now I'll not be able to complete this activity, okay, to this iteration. I need to move this work to the third iteration because I don't have the capacity available for my users. So you can go and click on sprint movement here. Okay, so that if you move and now you come to capacity, now you looks good for now. Now it's green. So now you have all 11 hours work. You have fixed it for this, and now that work is moved to the next sprint. Clear? So that way you will be able to manage and do the capacity planning for your work. Okay. So this is all your project manager work, which they will be able to do this activity, and they will be able to plan the capacity for your team. If you click on this setting button, the team setting button here, there is something called styles and other things which you will be able to set it into the application. Okay, so so if you go to the general, one minute. So if you go to the dashboard and now you click on setting, okay, now you can see here something called fields, styles, all those options are available. I click on style rules here, and now I can say I want to add a rule called development. Okay, okay, so this is my development, and development should look something called a green color. Okay, and if this field, okay, and that is called activity is a development, I want to make that activity as a green color. It will start appearing into the green color. So you can make a colorful boards, you can design your colorful boards, even you can have epic features, and you can have a working day. If you are working for only 4 days in a week, you can remove the Friday, and you can just, this is just completely planning of your work and how you can go ahead and design those work. If I click on save, now you can see here the development work is coming as green. So you might have seen somewhere in the agile process, your project will have a colorful board, and you just do a sticky note there, colorful sticky note, and you do the work over there. You can move between the in progress and other things which you can go ahead and plan accordingly, and you can move around this task from one stage to another stage. So this is completely your agile board kind of thing, which you can go ahead and design that. Okay, so that's the thing here. And yeah, next is something called Kanban board. It is talking about the Kanban boards. Okay, so next I can go ahead and design something called Kanban board. So you come to the boards, okay, and then you go to the settings here. Okay, so this is your boards. Go to the setting, And now what you can do, you can go and add something called tag color. Okay, so if your work is related to something called data, if the tag is called data, A is having problem in, okay, okay, I'm just writing test because A, I'm not able to write A in my keyboard. Okay, so if you tag something called data here, and data looks yellow, okay, and similar thing you can have annotation. Okay, so annotation you can have it here. Okay, but you can have something called test plan, tests, how tests need to be designed. Those things you can click here. And if I go and to one of the item, okay, one of the item, I go here and I'll say I'll just tag it here. You can see here add tag. Okay, if I click here and add tag as a test, okay, and I click on save button, now you see here the test will start change to the green color, sorry, yellow color. You can see here this test got changed to yellow. So you can identify, okay, this is the change, or you can highlight those kind of you can say you can highlight those kind of tags and all. Okay, if you have other tag, you can have other tag as well, so which can be you can have this some data tag or something. So a data tag can looks like a different color, so that you can go ahead and completely make a colorful design of your boards here. Okay, now you see here there are something called approved, committed, and done is available. I want to add a few more features here. I can go to the boards, I can add one more column. So currently only 3 columns. I want to add one more column called a I'll click on add column. I'll move this column after committed, after the work is done. I want to add a one column for the QA testing. Okay, so QA approved. So this is the tab I wanted to add, and I want to say that whatever you want to move that in the QA, that should be only one. So only one item has to be assigned at a time to the QA team. Okay, so I have limited the work to the one. I'll say save. Okay, whatever is this added? No, column QA approved. Okay, let me refresh. Yeah, you can see here QA approved has came in one more column. And now if I try to move the item to the QA, okay, so one is fine. I'll move one more work to the QA. Now you can see here this is saying the 2 work, and limit is only 1 work for the QA at a time. Okay, so that you can go ahead and assign a work to the QA, and then it goes to the done stage. So that way you will be able to limit the work, how much work you want to assign to the particular team. Okay, and also there are something which you can do here. You can go to the column QA team, and again the QA team can be splitted across the multiple work. Okay, so multiple columns you want to split, so you can split this work. Okay, and if you want to do something called definition here, you want to write, so that you can give, that's fine. So what happens now, your QA is categorized into 2 work. One is doing, one is done. Okay, so one work QA is doing, and once the QA is done, then QA is saying that I am done with my work. Okay, so your project manager or a scrum master can have a 2-column doing and done option, so the QA can move around that what they are doing currently, and once that is done, they can move the work item to the done stage. Okay, so those are the things which you will be able to do, and play around this boards, and you can design the boards according to that. Okay, and other thing, other what else here? So this is what the Kanban board was. QA approved, and those things you will be able to handle here. Okay, so another thing here, it's talking about how you can move to the process. Okay, so how you can move the process from one to another. Those things you can go ahead and define the process, and you can move those process from the one to another. Okay, so let me show you one thing before that. Okay, there is something called dashboard here. Okay, so this is the dashboard, and you can customize your dashboard. You can create your own dashboard. You can see that how many work is there for your team. Okay, those things you can go ahead and create it here. Okay, so if you click on this drop down, if you go to the dashboard and click on this drop down here, okay, let me go to the team web, and you just go here in the drop down and you can click on new dashboard. So once you click on new dashboard, you can give the name of your dashboard. Okay, this is my something called product training. So this is my product training dashboard. Okay, I want to create now. I'll just hit create. So this is the team related a dashboard which I'm going to create. Okay, and I can select the team, which team boards I'm going to create. So this is my for the full web team. Okay, I'll just hit create, and I have created a dashboard for me. Now I can add a widgets. Okay, I can go ahead and look for the sprint. Okay, I can add something called a sprint overview, burn down chart, capacity. All those I can go ahead and pull here. I can design whatever I want to do. So a sprint planning, burn down charts. So those things I can go ahead and keep adding and designing the sprint according to me. Okay, I want to assign to me. I'll say here whatever they assign to me. I want to see here those data. Okay. Uh, okay, so whatever you want to do. Okay, so lead time I want to see. Okay, I'll say here. So I'll just say that's fine, it's added already. And then just click on the done editing. Okay, so now your complete personalized dashboard is available for your team, and you can always go, okay, one epic is there, feature is there, another item we have for the team. Okay, so this is more designing of something board which you can go ahead and design. Okay, and other option, you have something called query here. So you can go ahead and create and design your own query. Okay, so there is something called already predefined queries are available here, user queries. Even you can go ahead and look for the new query, and you can create your query as well. Okay, so I can click on new query. Okay, work item, if work item is something called task. Okay, so if I have work item called task, and if the area path means it is assigned to the something called our team. Okay, so team is something called a full web team. So if it's a full web team, I want to see that what all the work or task is assigned to the team. I can click on the something called save query, and I can save into the shared query. If I'll save in the shared query option, the my all the team will be able to go and browse. If I'll not save into the shared query, only I'll be able to see. So I'm just saving into the shared query. So I'm just saving into shared query and just web task. Okay, and now you will go and you will be able to see these are the tasks. One is in progress, one is to do a stage. Okay, and also you can create something called a chart. Click on new chart, and then you can go ahead and select what kind of chart you want to create. The pie chart, group by, assigned to, and you just say that one is assigned, one is still not assigned. So one task is assigned, one task is not assigned. So that kind of chart also you can do that. So this is what about the boards. So boards is having work item. You have to manage your boards. Okay, you can have something called managing a backlog item over there. You can have your sprint planning. You will be having something called shared query. So those things you will be able to see. Even you can go ahead and design your dashboard. You can go ahead and look at your dashboard or team dashboard. So those things you will be able to see. Okay, so that's the about your, you can say, the overview of your Azure DevOps as part of your project planning and project creation. Okay, another thing which you can have, so as you know, this is my we have something called this is my Scrum project. Okay, and I want to move that project, I want to change the process of the project. Okay, or I want to create something my own customized process. So what I can go, I will go to this, you can click on this left side corner as your DevOps button. What happen, it take you to the home page. Okay, or your organization page, you can say. And down there is organization setting. If you click on organization setting, you can go to something called a process. So you just scroll down here and you'll find something called a here it's a process. If you click on the process, okay, you can see that there are multiple process which is available: the basic process, agile process, scrum process, and CMMI process. Currently you can see the one project which is assigned in the scrum project. Okay, now if I want to move the project from the scrum to agile, okay, what I can do, I can go to this project. Okay, I can select a project, I can move the process, I can click on change process, I want to move to the agile. And what I'll do, I'll just click on save button. What happened, the project will be moved to the agile process. Okay, so that way you will be able to move around a multiple process. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another process. Okay, so the scrum process, I'm going to use this scrum process as a parent process, and I am going to create a, I'm going to inherit a process here. Okay, once you click on the inherit process, what happens, I'm going to inheriting the scrum process to my own process. So I'm going to create something called customized process. Okay, so this is my customized process which I am going to create, and I'll say I want to create a customized process. Why to use a customized process? Because I am planning to have another field which was not available into the scrum standard. Okay, so I want to add a one field in the product backlog item. So I'll go to the product backlog item and I'll say I want to add a new field. So product backlog item looks like this. I want to add a one more field here. Okay, and that field I want to have something called a ticket number. So I'll say pull ticket ID. Okay, and that will be something called single line text. Okay, and what I'll do here, yeah, and then add field. Okay, I have already used that. Okay, pull web ticket number, I'm saying it's all let me do that ID1, I'm saying. Okay, so this is the one field which I want to add into the uh, my process. Okay, so I want to have a ticket ID as well. So I have added a pull web ticket ID. And create a new group, and that is something called paths unlimited. Okay, so that's, I'm creating a new group where I'm going to assign to this into layout. Okay, so I have added you can say the another group I have added. Okay, that's, you can Just I have added that. And what I'll do now, I'll go to the all process. I'll go inside the Scrum. I'll go to the project, and this project I am moving it to the something called customize process, and I'll say save. Now you see the change now. Okay. Now if you go to the process, now project has been moved to the customized process, and customized process we have added an additional field for my something called a backlog item. Now I'll go to the boards. I'll find out the work item and just go to your work item. Okay, so I'll click on this work item, and now you see one changes here, and that is something called parts unlimited is asking me the enter your ticket number as well. Okay, so I can enter my ticket number 12345 6, and I'll just click on save. Now you see this, because I was needing an additional field which was not available into the predefined template. I wanted to add a ticket number here, so I have created a derived a customized Scrum process, and I have used that custom Scrum process to add another field over there. Okay, so you can customize a process, you can move around the process, and you can go ahead and design according to your work, so that you will be able to do it here. Okay, so that's what about the lab here in this. Okay, so